to detect number. And by 3 or 4 months of age, they're beginning to do very simple, basic categorizing. By 5 months of age, they appear to be aware of addition and subtraction. This is the research of Dr. Karen Wynn from Yale. She sets up an experiment. You see the setting here. Baby looks at a little stage, sees a little mouse puppet on the stage. And then the baby, over on the second picture, the baby sees the researcher's black-gloved hand bring another little doll and put it behind this screen that has now come up in front of the first doll. So the baby had seen the first doll, then a screen comes up, and then the researcher brings in a second doll. And the baby watches this, and then the screen comes down, and the baby sees the expected number. 1 doll plus 1 doll is 2. Then the researchers, as they are prone to do a little trick, trial 2. And in trial 2, unbeknownst to the baby, while the screen is up, the researcher takes out one of those dolls. So when the screen goes down, what the baby sees is 1 doll. Well, that's 1 plus 1 is 1? That's not the expected number. Well, babies will look longer at this setting when it's not what the expected number would be. So there appears to be some rudimentary concept of what should be there in terms of one thing being added to another. The research into things like object permanence is also beginning to help us go deeper in understanding what we thought were some pretty static concepts. How babies figure out how things fit in and move in space. In essence, the roots of physics begin in infancy. And those of you who've taken child development classes and learned, as I did and taught for many years, object permanence only begins around 8 to 8.5 months of age. Spoiler alert, what the research has shown us is that out of sight is not necessarily out of mind. Now, this is probably hard to see, so I'll narrate it. This is the research of Renee Maguire-Fong. She has babies watch at the stage, and there's a little car coming down a ramp, and the baby sees the car go behind this screen and come out the other side. And then the screen pops up, and the baby sees a big block sitting in back of the track. You know, that makes sense. The car went down the track, past the block, because the block was in back of the track. Well, next, the baby sees the researcher take that block, put it on top of the tracks. And then, again, the baby sees the car move as before. Now, one would expect, right, that car is going to crash right into that block. But, unbeknownst to the baby, the researcher hasn't moved that block back, right? And the car just dashes right out the other side, just as before. Well, that's odd, if you were viewing it. Well, babies think the same thing. So, babies will stare longer when they see the car move along a track that apparently should have been covered by that block.